being able to prove that we belong on the field just as much as anybody else.
The most powerful thing about being a woman is our ability to connect and uplift each other, often through shared experiences and challenges. In basketball, this strength is evident in the support we provide each other. This bond not only enhances our performance, but also creates a culture of empowerment where we encourage and inspire one another to break barriers and pursue greatness.
I think the most powerful thing about being a woman is our strength. Strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual. And I think in wrestling we get tested in those things every single day, and we're very powerful in pushing through those things and being tested.
I think the most powerful thing about being a woman is the resilience. In lacrosse, it shows through our grit, teamwork, and relentless to drive and elevate the game.
I think that the most powerful thing about being a woman is knowing that we are not defined by what the world tells us we are defined by. Knowing that we are a daughter of the King, the great King, the Most High, is what sets us apart. And so I think that in our sport, that looks like maybe not falling and lowering ourselves to the standards of this world, but really pushing each other up and encouraging each other in the ways that God would call us to. And that looks like heart of servitude. That looks like encouraging each other. That looks like loving each other with the heart of God. And that is something that I think as women we can really learn to excel at in our sports.
The powerful thing about being a woman in sports is our resilience. The ability to face challenges, push through adversity, and keep striving for greatness no matter the obstacles. In both of my sports, that resilience shows up at every day, whether it's in training, competition, or overcoming setbacks. Back in September, I tore my right ACL and meniscus, and so I have definitely seen resilience firsthand. I also think along with resilience comes determination and strength, which are also powerful aspects of being a woman in sports. Being a woman in sports also means bringing a unique combination of strength, grace, and passion to the game, which I believe is what sets us apart.
The most powerful thing about being a woman is that you can just do anything as much as well as a man can. Obviously their pace is maybe faster or their times may be faster, but you're still doing so much as well.
I think the most important thing about being a woman is the empathy we have towards each other, the fact that we're still have this high competitive drive and still willing to compete at a rougher, just as rough as the men, but we can still care about each other and be able to, hug each other after a hard race and everything. And it's, the two are not competing against each other negatively.
The most powerful thing about being a woman is our ability to balance strength with resilience. As women, we're constantly proving ourselves in ways that go beyond physical ability. Being a college athlete is simply not enough. We have to prove our mental toughness, ability, and leadership. These are just as important in softball as in my real life. The ability to stay composed under pressure and lead with confidence, as well as lift up my teammates in ways that strengthen our collective performance. Women in sports don't just play the game, we define it through our determination, intelligence, and ability to overcome changes.
The most powerful thing about being a woman is that there's a sisterhood in this, and I know I can rely on my teammates when I need to. It's a great community that we've built across sports, interacting with each other, even in school. The community is a lovely one.
For me, one of the most powerful things about being a woman is the camaraderie, the bond, respect, and resilience that every woman in sport displays every day, creating a powerful image of strength in numbers. Supporting one another through thick and thin, and knowing the support system that is behind you. Behind every woman athlete empowers us to keep pushing towards our goals as a team and individually.
First of all, I'm so grateful for all of the women that came before me that really paved a way to allow women like me to play collegiate level sports and be respected in our areas. So I think for me, what it looks like to redefine what it means to be a female in this sport looks like not just looking at ourselves to push these boundaries, but really redefine them in the areas that we look to each other. I think God calls us to be excellent in all that we do, and that is such a wonderful thing. However, in female sports especially, it can really manifest itself in unhealthy competition, and that really breaks down a team. It really breaks down the bonds within a team. And so I think that what it looks like to redefine boundaries is to really see ourselves in women's sports, not as though we are kind of clawing our way to the top and shoving people aside, but really coming alongside each other and supporting each other as women, because we do have this place now in these sports and that we are respected in.
I see myself pushing boundaries in lacrosse by challenging the expectations and leading by example and providing that female athletes can do anything anyone else can. Through hard work and grit and passion, I want to elevate the game and inspire the next generation to play without any limits.
I see myself pushing boundaries and redefining what it means to compete in my sport by constantly challenging the status quo and setting new standards for excellence. I want to inspire the next generation of young girls to dream big and know that there are no limits to what they can achieve. I aim to break stereotypes and prove that women belong at the highest level of competition by using my platform as a volleyball and softball player at LaGrange College. My goal is not only to succeed personally, but also to pave the way for future female athletes, encouraging them to redefine their potential and push past any barriers placed in their path.
I push boundaries by showing that strength and resilience define success regardless of gender.
I see myself pushing boundaries by proving that women are not just small men. We are capable of doing what they can do and better, and just beating all the standards for women.
Pushing boundaries in track and field and cross country is already one itself, just being a woman, because it's so hard. Either the training days or mental health gets in the way, and you could literally lose to someone by just a couple milliseconds, so everything counts, and that's a boundary itself.
For me, pushing boundaries means proving that female athletes can strive for success at all levels, on and off the court, displaying strength in every aspect of life. I also strive to inspire younger girls to see no limits in what they can achieve with hard work and pushing boundaries.
Boundaries by refusing to expect limitations, whether they come from external expectations or internal doubts. Softball is often compared to baseball in ways that diminish its intensity, but I play with the same grit, strategy, and passion that any athlete brings to their game. I challenge the idea that female athletes should play a certain way or to fit into a particular mold, whether it's training harder, playing smarter, or supporting my teammates in a way that fosters a stronger team dynamic. I aim to elevate the sport and show that female athletes deserve the same respect and opportunities as anybody else.
I think pushing boundaries would mean to always strive for the better, never give up. It would mean to continuously raise the bar for myself and others.
As a female basketball player, I aim to redefine what it means to be a female athlete by leading by example on and off the court. I want to inspire younger players to believe in their potential and to see themselves as equals in a sport often dominated by men.
I want to be remembered as someone who played with heart and left everything on the field. Stats and wins are important, but my impact should go beyond that. I want to inspire future athletes to believe in themselves and to push their limits, to embrace the game with passion and dedication. If younger players can look back at my journey and feel empowered to take up space and be confident and never let anyone define their worth as an athlete, then I know I've made a lasting impact. I was not always a great athlete, so I had to work for everything that I had, and simply growing up and going to college was still not enough, and I continue to prove myself on the field every single day.
When future athletes look back at the game, I would want them to remember to never give up, always keep going, no matter if you think you're not doing good enough, always push for the next thing.
I would want them to remember me as someone passionate about women in sports. I hope they see me not only as a player, but as someone who works off the court to help pave the way for future student athletes to succeed. My legacy would be that of resilience, leadership, and a commitment to ensuring that female athletes are recognized for their contributions and talent.
I want them to remember me as a person who played with passion, purpose, and perseverance. Despite challenges and beyond statistics, I was someone who was never afraid to push societal expectations and limits to create a space for more women in
The
sports.
thing I would want future generations at Piedmont to remember me by is just my positive attitude. I'm always out there cheering for everyone on my team. I always have a smile on my face, and I just think that's so important. No matter how well you perform, I just think your mentality and your attitude towards everyone else is what matters most.
remember most about me is the impact I had at changing women's sports, bringing more equality, more women into the sport. It's a very male-dominated sport. It definitely gets hard between the lack of pay for female athletes and the lack of prize money, and we don't get treated as equal as the men. It's much of the time men are highlighted, so definitely bringing that where women or men are equal.
I want the future generations to look back at me as a role model that teaches them to care so much about the game that they end up loving it so much that nothing can get in their way of being great. I want them to look at me and see how I hold myself on and off the court and use that as motivation for them to say I can be just.
I hope the future generation remembers me for my optimistic outlook and my love and support for all women's wrestlers and growing the sport of women's wrestling.
I would want my future generations to remember my leadership and my passion and my relentless for the game. I want the future athletes to push themselves as hard as I push myself and everyone else does on my team.
I think that I would really love people to remember me for my character. At the end of the day, ultimately everything is for the glory of God. So my score, my overall way that I play is not what matters ultimately, but it's the character and the way that I show love to others. And so I think for me, I would really love people to see the way that I love them with the love of God.
I hope future athletes see me as somebody that left everything on the field and inspired others.
Here with B Wash, asking her, how can we support women in male-dominated fields?
We can continue to encourage our female student athletes and also our females in leadership roles, just to let them know that any room that you're in, you deserve to be there. You're there for a reason, but also show up for one another and support each other.
Hey guys, I'm here with Jill Moore, and we're asking her, what is the biggest piece of advice you could give to female athletes?
I would say embrace the hard. A lot of times the hard, we really focus too much on that. Embrace the hard. That does not mean we don't believe in ourselves. Does not mean we are not awesome. We do not do the right things, but the hard teaches us a lot of lessons. Embrace that, and at the same time, be able to give yourself a break.
Love it. Thanks so much.
No problem.